बृहस्पतिवासरः गुरुवासरः दिनाङ्कः 29 December 29th. Today is Thursday. Raghuvamsham again. Today is December 29th, 2011. Raghuvamsham Thursday. Mangalacharanam Ramo Rajamanis Sada Vijayate Ramam Ramesham Bhaje Ramena Bhihata Nishachara Chamu Ramaya Tasmai Namaha Raman Nasti Parayanam Parataram Ramasya Dasosmyaham Rame Chittare Sada Bhautame Bhorama Mamudhara Rama Rameti Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Tattalyam Rama Nama Varanane Shri Rama Nama Varanana Om Nama Iti Atha Shri Maheshwara Sutrani A I Un Rul Ruk E Ong Ai Auch Haya Varat Lan Nyama Ng N Nam Javang Garadash Jaba Garadash Kapha cha cha tsa cha cha tsav kapaisha sha sar hal iti Maheshwara Sutrani. A small correction from last time, Shuddhi Karanam. One small correction. I think last time we derived this form which is Tirna, which is the Dhatu Tru and Nishtha Pratyaya Kta. And at that time, let me see, okay. Deriving the form Tirna, the in Nishedha which we did, this is back here. Dhatu Tru is Dirgha, Rukaranta Dhatu. And Plavana Taranayoho, which is swim or to cross, to float over, Plavana Taranayoho. And the only thing, correction I would like to make is that the in Nishedha, how to stop the Idagamaha. How to stop the Idagamaha. Because this Dhatu, actually, if you look at this Dhatu Tru, number 1124, this dhatu is actually a udattopadeshaha, which means that the in nishedha cannot be done by 7 to 10. 7 to 10 does in nishedha by ekachupadesha anudattat. But this dhatu through is udattopadeshaha, so we cannot do, see, udatta. So we cannot do in nishedha by 7 to 10. Last time by mistake in the document I had 7 to 10. In Nishedha is done by 7 to 11. Shrukashkriti. Shrukashkriti. Shrukashkriti says that the dhatu Shri and any dhatu ending in a uk means will not allow the idagamaha. The pratyaya following is a kit pratyaya. Shrukashkriti is the important sutram. Now in our daily examples, the Saturday class, we will be going into details of the Idagamaha in the next few classes. But sutram here for the time is Shrukashkriti. Shrukashkriti. And by the way, this is a nice new, let me show, the Kalpesh was showing me yesterday this new website, which is going to be our main website going forward. So it's a nice, for every sutram we have the Kashika Vritti and the Laghu Siddhanta Kaumudi, Bala Manorama, Tattvabodhini, and we also can put our own comments at the bottom. And this is a website which can be edited. So we hope that over time we can remove some of the errors inside. So it says that Shri iti etasya ugantana. That's the thing. Ugantana kiti pratyaya parataha idagamo na bhavati. It's one dhatu Shri, and but any dhatu ending in a uk. So no idagamaha if the pratyaya following is a kit. So that was the sutram that we should have used to the in nishedha. So as I've always said that if you have a pratyaya which is valadi means any beginnings with any any hal, any consonant except yakara. So valadi pratyaya which you have, and as usual when you decide valadi, ajadi, ekach, anekach, everything, Prathamataha Anubandha Lopaha. Anubandha Lope Sati. So Anubandha Lope Ta iti Pratyaha. Takaradi. Valadi Pratyaha. Valadi Pratyaha. So think of Idagamaha. So Idagamaha, so that should be a very good habit for us, even if the Pratyaya has Sanya of Ardhadhatukam. In this case, of course, Ardhadhatukam Sheshaha. It's a Valadi Pratyaha. The Idagamaha by 7 to 35, which you're going to see very, very soon now in our Saturday class. in great detail. 7 to 35. Actually, we already seen that. I'm sorry. We already seen 7 to 35. You're going to see 7 to 10. 7 to 10 can only do in nisheda if you have ekacha upadesha anudaktat. But this is a udatta upadesha dhatu. So we could not use 7 to 10. We have to use 7 to 11, which is shuka kiti. Any dhatu ending in any uk will not allow idagamaha for a pratyaya which is beginning with a which is a kit pratyaya. Always remember that the idagamaha comes to the pratyaya, not to the dhatu. Idagamaha comes to the pratyaya, not the dhatu. The dhatu only allows it or disallows it, but the agama actually comes to the pratyaya. Okay, so I was correction from last time. Otherwise, everything was fine. Only thing is that I put the wrong number for the in nisheda in the class. It should be 7 to 11. 7 to 11. Okay, so let's continue with, I think we had finished up verse 61. We need to take some vyakaranam. We had done the verse. Let us read the verse one more time. Smaranartham. Just to remember it again. It was a simple verse. It is Sugamaha Shlokaha. It's an easy verse to understand. Drishta vichinvitatena Lankayam Rakshasi Vrata Janaki Vishavallibhe Pariteva Mahaushadhi. So Udacheda was Drishta vichinvitatena. All three of these are Tritiya Ekvachanam. Tritiya Ekvachanam. So Tena Hanumata. So by him who was searching, I'm sorry, no, one more time. Drishta is Prathama Ekvachanam, not Tritiya Ekvachanam. Drishta is qualifying Sita. So Sita Drishta, Sita was seen. Tena Hanumata, by him. Vichinvita, by Hanuman who was searching. So Vichinvat Pradipadikam. You're going to see in detail now in the document. So this is a passive construct because this pratyakta which is being used over here has to be used only in the passive by 3, 4, 70. Tayoreva krityakta kalarthaha. Any krit pratyaya as a default is in the active sense. Kartari kritta. That would make Sita the one who is seeing. Sita was not the one who was seeing. Sita was the one who was seen by Hanuman. Because so the pratyakta which is used over there, tayoreva krityakta kalarthaha. So it's only to be used in the passive. Which passive means that the karta will be tritiya by kartikaranayos tritiya. Kartikaranayos tritiya. Kartikaranayos tritiya. So that is why we have the karta Hanuman who is taken tritiya ekvachanam. Tena Hanumata, Vichinvata is qualifying Hanuman. By Hanuman who was searching, Sita was seen. Then Lankayam, of course, Saptami Ekvachanam, Rakshasi Vrata. Rakshasi Vrata means she was surrounded by Rakshasi. This is qualifying Sita again. Rakshasi Bhi Vrata. Rakshasi Bhir Vrata. Straightforward Titiya Samasaha, Titiya Tatpurusha Samasaha. Katkarane Krita Bahulam by 2:132. Then Janaki. So Janaki has been qualified by Drishta and Rakshasi Vrata. Now it's even Upama. Vishavalli Bhe Parita Iva. Parita plus Iva, of course, Ad Gunaha. Parita plus Iva becomes Pariteva. Mahaushadhihi. Mahaushadhihi. This is a Samastam Padam. Inside the compound you have Vriddhirechi going on there. You see that. So simple sentence is that Sita was seen by Hanuman. Hanuman who was searching, who was looking out, who was trying to find. So she was seen in Lanka like a great plant. In this case, commentary says that it is the Sanjeevani Lata. Sanjeevani is the life-giving tree. Sanjeevani. Sanjeevyate anayati Sanjeevani. Sanjeevani is which brings you back to life. Sanjeevani Lata. That's the Mahaushadhi. Sanjeevani Lata iva. And Parita. So Parita. Again, Miss Parivrata, same thing. So here we have Rakshasi Vrata in the Upameya. Upama we have Parita, so meaning is similar. So like a great Sanjeevani plant which is surrounded by poisonous creepers. That is how Hanuman saw Sita. So Sita was seen by Hanuman. She was like this great plant which is surrounded by poisonous creepers. So the commentary was straightforward. Lankayam Ravana Rajadhanyam. Lanka is the capital of Ravana. So Ravanasya Rajana Rajadhani. Rajadhani. This dhani also I think we have just derived recently in our Wednesday class. Rajadhani. Rajadhani, so won't repeat too much here again. Rajadhani is by Sutram. Karana Karanadikaranayoscha. Karanadikaranayoscha. Pratyalyut is used in the sense of Karanadikaranah. So dhiyate asmin iti atva dhiyante asmin iti dhani. That in which something is placed is dhani. So sutram is Karanadikaranayoscha. So this is dhani. So dhiyate asyam iti, dhiyate asyam iti dhani. Rajnyo dhani, rajadhani. So that in which someone is placed, something is placed, that in which the king is placed is the capital of the king. So sutram here is this one over here. Karanadikaranayoscha. Karane adhikarane chakarake dhatu lyut pratyaya bhavati. Anyway, we done this in detail on the Wednesday class. So Ravanasya Rajadhani. So Ravanasya Rajnyaha Dhani Rajadhani. So in the capital of Ravana, Vichinvata Mrigayamanena. Vichinvata Mrigayamanena. One thing also I said to you is that if you're having difficulty figuring out the vibhakti of a word, you can look around in the shloka to see if another word is samadhikaranam. One thing you can also do, look in the commentary. Look in the commentary to see if what is the vivaranam, what is the paryaya shabda given by tikakara. What is the paryaya shabda which is given by tikakara, and generally he will maintain the same vibhakti. So vichinvata, if you're wondering what the vibhakti of the vichinvata is, then look at mrigayamanena. Mrigayamarne tritya ekavachanam. So vichinvata iti etasya vibhakti yadi mrigyate. If you're looking for if you're searching for the vibhakti of vichinvata, then look at the commentary. Mrigayamarne like Ramena. So it is straightforward. So that will give you a hint that this vichinvata is most likely a tritya ekavachanam. This is another trick you want to use. Look in the commentary and see how he is describing that word, explaining that word, and that will give you a hint to what the vibhakti of the word in the shloka is. So vichinvata tritya ekavachanam of prajvatikam vichinvat. So mrigayamanena is telling you also tritya ekavachanam. Then tena, see he puts the adjective before the pronoun, and then the noun is understood. Tena marutina. So from the context we know it's marutina. But always Maninatha gives us the noun behind the pronoun. Very good habit. Very good habit. So by Hanuman, who was searching. Then Rakshasi Bhirvrata Janaki. Straightforward Titya Tatpurushaha. Rakshasi Vrata, Rakshasi Bhirvrata Janaki. And now one little interesting thing over here is that now why has he given us the compound form, the Vigrahavakyam? I said if it's a simple Sugamaha Tatpurushaha Samasaha, Tarhi Vigrahavakyam na diyate. You don't need to give Vigrahavakyam. In this kind of commentary, of course, depending how detailed the commentary is, but in a reasonably good commentary, we'll not get a Vigrahavakyam. Now, what is the reason for giving Vigrahavakyam over here? One reason could be, by the way, that Rakshasi and Vrata could be taken as a Pruthak Pradam. It could be two separate words. Rakshasi could have been outside the compound, but that will make Janaki the Rakshasi. If you put it outside the compound, then Janaki becomes a Rakshasi then. So that will not make any sense. So this Rakshasi Vrata is a Samastam Padam. But we know that only from the context. The Rakshasi could have been outside the compound, and Vrata could have been a Pruthak Padam, separate word. So when do we have this problem? We have this problem with when a particular word is the same form with the Vibhakti ending, without the Vibhakti ending. If you take a word like Nadi, Nadi is a Pratipadikam. Nadi is also Prathama Ekvachanam of Nadi Shabda. So now we don't know whether Rakshasi is inside the compound or outside the compound. We don't know that. So that is why he clarifies the Rakshasi Bhirvrata Samastam Padam iti Suchyate. So meaning that it is suggested this is a samastam padam. So that could be a reason why even the Vigraha Vakyam. The compound is straightforward. Rakshasi bhir vrata is Tritya compound, but the Rakshasi could have been outside the compound, giving completely a wrong meaning. But then Rakshasi would qualify, Sita would be the Rakshasi then. So Rakshasi bhir vrata Tritya samasaha Janaki. The vrata is qualifying Janaki. So vrata is surrounded by, Vru is to cover, to surround Janaki. Then now comes the Upama. Vishavalli bhi parita is parivrata. Pariita. Dhatu in gatau. E is to go. Itam is gone. Pariitam is gone all around, means surrounded. So parita is parivrata. Mahoshadhi sanjivani lata iva drishta. That's how she was seen. She was seen like a great plant, sanjivani lata, surrounded by poisonous creepers. We saw this last time. Look at the Vyakaranam a little bit and we can go to the next shloka. So Vyakaranam was, this dhatu is ching chayane. Means to collect actually. So ching like word like chita, sanchayaha. So it means to collect. Chayanam is to collect or to pile up. So like chita can also be a funeral pyre, chita. But so when we add that to make a what's called a present participle in English, a present participle, vartamani kritantaha, vartamani kritantaha, vartamani kritantaha, present participle, then what happens is that first we have done this many times in the class already, so I didn't put all the detailed steps. Vartamane lat by 3 to 130, then latashtrashana chava pratama samadhikarane. So lat can take the adesha directly of shatra shanacha. Now which dhatu will take shatra, which will take shanacha? Because of 1499 left parasmay padam, 14100 tangana atmane padam. If it's atmane padi dhatu, it will take shanacha. Otherwise it will take Shatru Pratyaya. So in this case we have this dhatu is number, let's see what I think this might be Ubhayapadi dhatu. I'm suspecting this might be Ubhayapadi dhatu. It's number 5 in the Swadiganaha. So yeah, it is Ubhayapadi of course, because it has the Chavarga Panchama as a Nitya. So Swaritagnataha Kartravipraya Kriyaphale. So it's an Ubhayapadi dhatu. So I should put it over here. It's Ubhayapadi by 1372. So Suritagnitaha Kartavipraya Kriyaphale, it's Ubhayapadi. So 1372. So because it has a Chavarga Panchama, so it could have taken Shatru or Shanach, but in this case it's taken Shatru Pratyaya. So one more time, doing a present participle form, 1324, let us Shatru Shanachava Prathama Samadhikarane. Then if it's a Prasnapadi dhatu, Shatru Pratyaya. If it's Atmanepadi dhatu, Shalash Pratyaya. And then of course, because this Shatru Pratyaya is thing, it's Sarvadhatukam, it's Katriyarthe, so you get the Shnu Pratyaya, Swadibhya Shnu, Apavada for Shap, and then because the Shnu is a Apit Sarvadhatukam Apit becomes Nitvat, and then Guna Desha is stopped by Kiniticha. So Kiniticha stops Sarvadhatuka Ardhatuka Yoho. Otherwise, this chi should have taken Guna Desha. But because the Pratyaya Shnu is Sarvadhatukam Apit Nitvat, no Guna Desha because of Kiniticha. And then Anubandha Lopaha by Lashakvatadite Upadesha Nasika It, Tasya Lopaha, and we get Chinvat. Chinvat by doing Hushnuva Sarvadhatuke. Hushnuva Sarvadhatuke. Now why do we need Hushnuva Sarvadhatuke? Why could we not use only Iko-Yarnachi? Iko-Yarnachi cannot be used here because of the fact that Iko-Yarnachi could not be used because it is overruled by Achishta Dhatu Brahvam. Your young Vangau. So what would happen here is this 3-step process is, first of all, we have the Iko-Yarnachi. It's a general rule. It's also in the Ashtadhyayi, an earlier rule. But that rule is overruled by 6477, which is Achishnu Dhatu Brahvam. Achishnu. So because we have Pratyaya Shnu, Achishnu Dhatu Brahvam, your young Vangau. If we had an Vanga Desha. But then comes Hushnuva Sarvadhatu case. Anuvritti is coming down of Asanyoga Purvasya. There is no Sanyoga prior to the Nu. So what do we have right now? We have Chi Nu. So chi, nu, at. So there is, sorry, so prior to the ukara of nu, there should be no sanyoga. So this ukara should have no sanyoga prior to it. If you have a dhatu like ap, it will become apnuvat. It will become apnuvat because you apnu, that pakara nakara sanyoga. In this case we have chi nu. So there is no sanyoga prior to the ukara. So if that is the case, then we go back to the yanadesha. So one more time, first step is ikoyanachi, but that is overruled by 6477 achishnud dhatu bhuvam yo yung uvango. So uvangadesha praptaha. And finally 6487, there is no sanyoga prior to the ukaraha. So hushnuvo sarvadhatuke. If you want to quickly look at the vritti of this hushnuvo sarvadhatuke, says that always check the vritti of any sutram. Hushnuvor anekacho. We have anekachinu, anekachangam. Asanyoga purvasya uvarnasya yan syad achi sarvadhatuke. So because the pratyaya shnu has sanya of, I'm sorry, the pratyaya shatru has sanya of sarvadhatukam, by think is sarvadhatukam. So the akara of shatru is a akara of sarvadhatuka pratyaya. The angam is chinu. There is no sanyaga prior to the ukaraha. It's anekachangam. So we get the yanadeshaha. So yanadeshaha becomes chinvat. Chinvat. After that, vichinvat is of course a kugati pradeha, gati samasa, upasarga is vi. So vichi is to search. So chi is to pile or to collect, but vichi is to search. Vichinvat. So vichinvat is one who's searching. Vichinvata, of course, is tritya ekavachanam, becomes why one who's searching. Now, in the commentary, he says mrigayamanena. That dhatu is mriga, anveshane, to search. Mrigayati, anveshane, mrigayati. So here what happens is because churadi ganaha, dashama ganaha. So first we get churadibhyo, swathe nich, 3125, and nich gets sanya of ardhatukam by 34114, ardhatukam sheshaha. Now we get atolopaha, ardhatuke. So if you have adantamangam followed by pratyaya which is sanya of ardhatukam, angam takes lopaha, alontyasya. So it becomes very simple sutram, atolopaha, ardhatuke. Let's not forget that that's the adhikara of ardhatuke starts from 6446. 6446 all the way down. And so this sutram which is atolopaha is 6448. So adantasya angasya lopo bhavati ardhatuke pratyaya parataha. So because so, and then now what happens is that as per, if you want, we can look at the vritti of that one also. So see, vritti, when I say in the class, on the fly, that's what I just remember, but you should check the vritti always from here. Says that ardhatuke ityadhikaraha. So this is the 6448 atolopaha. Ardhatuka upadeshe yadantam tasyataha lopa ardhatuke. So at the time when the pratyaya was prescribed, if the pratyaya which is sanya of ardhatukam is prescribed, at that time if the dhatu is akaranta dhatu, it takes so he says when ardhatukam affix follows, the akara at the end of an angam is elided. If the angam ends in the akara at the time when the ardhatuka pratyaya was prescribed. So here we have mriga to the pratyaya nich. This is akara at the end, so we get akar lopaha, mrig, nich. Now what would have happened is that nich could have done the gunadeshaha by puganta laghupatasya cha. But that is stopped by the sutram which is 1157, which states that achaf parasin pura vidhau, which we have discussed in detail in the Saturday class. So I won't go into all detail, but basically this lopaha which is done by the nich pratyaha, that is sthanivad bhavaha, as if it is still there. So when this pratyaha achas parasin pura vidhau 1157, if you look at this very nice sutram, achas parasin pura vidhau, because you might wonder that after the akara is gone, why will the nich not do the puganda laghupatasya cha? And that answer is 1157, and that the reason for that is that paranimitto ajadeshaha sthanivat. Sthani bhuta dachaha purvatvena drishtasya vidhau kartavye. So substitute of a vowel in place of a vowel basically. So right now we have a lopaha, which is caused by a term that follows, should be regarded as that whose place it takes. So in this case, the akara took lopaha. That lopa is a zero, but that zero behaves like the term which was replaced, like the akaraha. When does it do that? When the rule would else take effect on what stands prior to the original vowel. So here we have the okay. So here what we have is that we have the nich pratyaya, which can potentially do a guna adesha for the rikara of the angam by puganta laghupatasya cha. Then at that time what happens is the lopaha, which is done over here, akar lopaha, it gets sthanivad bhavaha by 1157, achaf person pura vidhau. So the lopa is done in place of an ach, the akaraha, and the vidhi is a pura vidhi. This nich is trying to act to the left of that akaraha, that lopaha. So then this akara behaves as if it is still there. So as far as the gunadesha is concerned, the akara is still there. So the angam is murga, and so therefore the upadha is only gakara. So then it cannot act. We cannot use puganta lupatasya. Anyway, if you want to practice this, go to the website 1157 achaf person pura vidhau. So as far as the gunadesha is concerned, the upadha of the angam is still the gakara only. It cannot apply. Okay, then we get the form anubandha lopaha halantyam chutu becomes mrugi. Mrugi gets dhatu sanya vasanadhyanta dhatavaha. And then the same thing, we add the pratyaya lat. The word sutra nichascha. Nichascha means nijanta dhatuhu. Will become basically ubhayapadi. So we could do shatru or shanach. In the commentary, shanach has been used. So same sutram, natashatru shanacha was samanadhikarane. No, sorry. Natashatru shanacha was prathama samadhikarane. Natashatru shanacha was prathama samadhikarane. So here we have tritiya. So there's no prathama samadhikaranam because we have tritiya right now. Mrgayamanena. So shanach comes in because of tangana vatmane padam. After that, similar steps, kartari shab comes in because shanach is used kartari arthe. It has sanya of sarvadhatukam, I think she's sarvadhatukam. So shab comes in here. Anubandha lopaha, the shakpatadite halantyam, and then we can get the guna adesha for the nich by sarvadhatuka ardhadhatuka yoho, and then echoyava yavaha mrgaya ana, and finally anemuk. Anemuk, 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 anemuk means that if you have a adantamangam followed by pratyaya ana, which is the shanash without the it letters, then it takes the mukagamaha adyantau takitau. It joins at the end, and we get of course when muk comes, then we do upadesha jananasika it halantyam, and we get mrgayamana, and finally nattam by atkupvanum yavayepi natvam. So basically dhatu is mrga anveshane, nish pratyaha became mrgi, and then after that we added shanach, shab come in there, guna adeshaha, and mukagamaha by ane muk. Ane muk 7-82 ane muk ane muk ane muk 7-2 because adantamangam anuvritti of ataha comes down in ane muk. So it says that adantangasya mukagamaha syat ane parataha. Straightforward, mukagamaha mrgayamana. Finally nattam by atkupanyam yavayapi, and then Vishavalli, Vishena Yukta Valli, Vishayukta Valli, Vishavalli. So this is really a what's called as a shaka part of a compound. The example in English which we gave, like he is a tennis guy, means he's a person who loves tennis, tennis loving person. But we say is a tennis person because inside that loving part is understood in there. So when something is clearly understood inside of the Pura Padam, Uttara Padam of the Pura Padam, or the Uttara Bhaga, I should say in general, Uttara Bhagaha of the Pura Padam is Spashtam. So it is Spashtaha, Spashtartha. It can be dropped like that. So we can say, rather than saying Vishayukta Valli, just say Vishavalli, it's poison. So like we say poison plant, rather than saying poisonous plant, we just say poison plant. So Vishena Yukta. So these are called these Shaka Parthiva compounds, Shaka Priya Parthivaha, a king who loves vegetables. But just say he's a vegetable king. He's one who likes vegetables. This class of compounds, they are Karmadharya compounds, but basically what in the Karmadharya compound, the sutra which normally we use is 2157, Visheshanam Visheshana Bahulam, but this is not a Visheshanam as such. The Visha is a noun. So we have to tweak the noun to make it into a Visheshanam. So that is this Shaka Parthiva. We say tennis guy means tennis is not an adjective. So tennis loving we have to say. Same thing Shaka Parthiva. The Shaka is not an adjective, we have to make an adjective. So that's what this is what these the compounds are. Vartikam under 2160 is Samanadhikarana Adhikare Shaka Parthivadinam Upasankyanam Uttarapada Lopascha. Uttarapadam of the Purapadam takes Lopaha. Then, yes.
This Mrug Dhatu, right? Which we were saying earlier. Mruga.
Uvrata? Okay.
Yes. Like the Mrugaya Mana. This
yes,
Dhatu, if the Dhatu is in a Kandwadi list, will that yak come otherwise also?
Which dhatu you're talking about? Mrugaya? No.
Mrug Dhatu. The Dhatu Mruga,
yes.
Madhavya Dhatu Vritti says it's a Kandwadi list.
Oh, but it's in this number also, right? It is this number also?
If it is let's say if it was in the Kandwadi list, then is that Kandwadi list away apart from 10th Gana, or is it including
it is apart from it.
Okay.
Because if you look at Dhatu Vritti, the Kandwadis are given at the end, right?
Yes.
So separate from that one.
Okay.
So that would be a separate. This is different. That is different. Let's say Kanvadayaha.
So
let's see where he.
Madhavya Dhatu Vritti says this. That he says that somebody says that this is a Kandwadi list also.
Oh, somebody says okay. So, Kandwadi Gana. Okay.
He says what?
I think, but he does have it still in there. So.
He says Rugyati iti Kandwadi Pathat iti Maitreya.
Which page number are you on?
I am looking up online. So
okay.
Online is 571.
Okay, but let me see. It will be here. So Mruga.
The question was twofold. One is that is Mruga, will it be Kandwadi, then it will be away, different from 10th Gana, and if so, then will the
it will be different. It will be different from 10th Gana. So 10th Gana and Kandwadi two separate things.
Okay.
So Mruga, Anveshana is page 724, the book over here. So it says that let's see, 724. Mruga Anveshane, Mrugayati iti Kandwadi Pathad, iti Maitreya, Margayati Margatiti, Marge Adrishyascha. Okay. So it says that Mrugayati iti Kandwadi Pathad. Iti Maitreya. Okay, so looks like this might be taken as this dhatu could be in the Churadi, might be in the Kandwadi, so looks like it. One thing interesting, he only gives the form Mruga Yate, by the way, Kalpi. Doesn't give Mruga Yati, by the way.
Yeah.
Now why is that? Okay, let's see, there must be something there. Because he doesn't give Mruga Yate.
Right.
Because that's why Mallinatha is given Mrugaya Marne, no?
Right.
He doesn't give Mrugayata is not given.
So there might be one sutra, some sutra in 1.3 which might be forcing it to be Atmanepada, is it?
No, I think there might be something Dhatu Patha, I suspect. Let's look at Dhatu Patha. This towards the end, right? Mruga. So let's look at Dhatu Patha. In fact, glad you brought this up because it looks like there's something for this Dhatu making it only Atmanepadam.
So even in 1.3 there are some niche, for niche also there are some limitations, right? No?
But that way I think we would have been mentioned here by Dhatu Vritti. If that was the case, if Mruga was specifically, it's because, here it is, it's there. It's just look at prior to it, you'll find it. Agarwal Atmane Padinaha. See that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is. So it is, okay, so let me, good, I'm glad you're in the class. So number 442, right? So let's look at number 442. And before that, there is the Ganasutram, kind of Ganasutram, So 442. So Agarwad, okay, good. So within that, I was wondering why he gave Mrugaya Marnena. I should have checked it. He did the Mrugyam. I should have searched that. Margitavyam. So mrigayamanena. So here it is that agarvad atmanepadinaha. Up to dhatu garva. So that's from this dhatu pada up to garva. So this is so these are only atmanepadi. So okay, let me put this in my document. So agarvad atmanepadinaha. Okay. So good. So we found something. So it's only atmanepadi. Yeah, but yeah, if it had been in the, so then what it's saying is that, so mrigyati iti kanvadi pathat, right? So now that is the, if it's a kanvadi ganaha, right? Then we'll get the form mrigyati. So kanvadi pathat mrigyati is saying, because the correct, Kalpesh, you follow that?
Yes,
kanvadibhyo yak, correct?
Yes, I follow that.
So kanvadibhyo yak, if you use that, and then there will take parasapadam. So you get from mrigyati. But if you take it as Churadigana, you're getting Mrigayate by this Agarvad Atmanepadinaha. So that's what he's saying basically.
See, that makes clearly makes sense, that's how you can use it as the Gana Sutra. If it was not a Gana Sutra, then it would have been a non-10th Gana also would have got it.
See, non-10th Gana, you may, but the formula Mrigayati, he says Mrigyati. So Mrigyati means it has to be then, it cannot be Churadigana anymore. Mrigyati cannot be Churadigana, correct?
Right, it cannot. Yes.
So Mrigyati means it has to be outside Churadigana, it has to be somewhere else. So, okay, let me just put it over here.
So Satish, what I mean is that signifies why that Gana Sutra is there. If the Gana Sutra was not there, and let's say the Sutra was in 1.3, then it would have applied to the whole thing as opposed to only this Gana, right?
So, but to which, if the Sutra was in 1.3, would apply to specific dhatus though still, right? You're talking about in 1.3, right?
Yeah. So even so in this case, now Murug, when you're using it in Kandwadi, you are not worried about, we are not worried about whether it's Atmanepadam or Parasmapadam.
See, Kandwadi, I think by default, I think by it should be Sheshat Kati Parasmapadam, I think, okay. Kandwadi. So in Kandwadi, unless it's an it letter like a Kavaraka Panchama or something,
right.
Then okay. But otherwise, barring that in Kanvadi, right? Okay. In Kanvadi you may have some, which may be forcing Atma, but otherwise you should have Sheshat Gati Parasapadam. See in Kanvadi dhatu, like you have Irang, the Chavarga Panchama,
right.
And then that will, that is the as an it. But otherwise, normally you should have only, I'm looking at the Kanvadis, and right. It's a Sheshat Gati Parasapadam should work over there.
Right.
There's nothing to make it because that but you have the, for example in Kanwadi, for example, you have that like Mahing, which is the Kavarga Panchamas. In that case, of course, it will become Mahiyate.
Right.
But so unless you force Atmanepadam by something, yes, by using it letter or something, normally Kanwadi will default to Sheshat Gati Parasmapadam.
Right.
You get the form Mrigyati. But good. So that's, yes, correct. So if you want to get the form Mrigyati, you have to put in the Kanvadi. Okay, so what I should put, instead of putting this, I should put over here now, Agarval Atmanepadinaha. Agarval Atman. So this is Gana Sutram. So this dhatu. So that's why he only gave us Mrigayamane now. So because not Mrigayata, right? Agarvad Okay, so this is a Gana Sutram in the Churadi Ganaha. These set of few dhatus are going to take only Atmanepadam ending. So that's why we have used Shanacha. We miss Malayalam use Shanacha and not Shatra. Good, okay. I should have checked that, but thank you. So this is in the Gana Partha one more time. In the Dhatu Partha, there is a section of dhatus, Churadi Ganaha, and they only take Atmanepadam. Because Tangana, so that started from 440 Padagatau up to the Dhatu Garva, which is 1449. And there we have Mriga is inside there, so it can only take Shanach, because Shanach is Sanya of Atmanepadam from Tangana Atmanepadam. Okay, good. So that was that. Thank you. And then, so this is Shakapartya Samasaha, Vishayukta, become Vishaballi. Now in Gatau Parita. So in Gatau is a Dhatu, Nishtha Pratyaha by 32102. the adhikara of bhute nishtha pratyam, which is surrounded, and the ktaktavatu nishtha is a passive usage, tayoreva krityakta kadarthaha. And so 126 ktaktavatu nishtha. In nishedhava anudat ekach upadesh anudattat. Ekach upadesh anudattat in nishedha. And then so you get ita comes in Gita, very first shloka, dharma kshetre kurukshetre samaveta, sam ava ita, samaveta. So the very first shloka of Gita, samaveta means they've come together. So this in gata is to go, samaveta is to come together. So pari plus ita, again kugati paradeha gati samasa, pari ita by akasama dirgha. In striyam we had the pratyaya top on top. So pratyaya tap to make in the feminine. As I said many times, nothing can be used in the feminine unless it is checked out by the adhikara of striyam. Start from 413. So pratyaya tap comes, then anubandha lopaha chutu valantyam, akasame dirgha comes parita. And then mahoshadhi. So mahati chasav aushadhi. It's a great plant. It's an important plant, great plant. So how do you get mahoshadhi now? Firstly, we get the sutram is visheshanam visheshana bahulam. To form any compound in this language, you have to find a samasa vidhayaka sutram in the Ashtadhyayi in 2.1 or 2.2. So mahati chasav aushadhi, chasav aushadhi. So in that case, we have this mahati is an adjective, simply in English adjective, noun compound, karmadharya compound. And then what happens is that this entire samudaya gets samya pradipadikam by kritya samasascha. Inside the pradipadikam takes supluk by supo dhatu pradipadika yoho. Then we get pumvad bhavaha. Karmadharya compound, the adjective, if it's a feminine qualifying a feminine noun, it becomes pumvat, becomes masculine like. So the adjective becomes masculine like by 6342 is the 6342. As mentioned too, 6.3 is the pada adhika in Ashtadhyayi, that's the quarter, that's the pada, which Panini does some operations for the pura padam in a samasa, because the adhikara coming there is anuvritti is coming there of uttarapade. So by 6.342, pumvat karmadharya jatiya deshiyeshu. Pumvat karmadharya jatiya deshiyeshu. So karmadharya compound and the pratyaya jati or deshiya follows, then the pura padam that gets the pumvad bhavaha. So in this case it becomes mahat now, because mahati was in the feminine, mahat is the corresponding masculine form. And then comes 6346 an mahataha samanadhikarana jatiya yoho. So this mahat takes the akara adeshaha. Of course, alontyasya, the ending takara becomes akaraha when there is a padam in samadhikaranam, or when the jatiya pratyaya is there. In this case, karmadhara compound, samadhikaranam means they refer to the same item. So mahati and aushadhi refer to the same thing. That's called samadhikaranam. Adhikaranam means the same locus. So therefore, mahat takes the akara adeshaha, alontyasya, and then of course akasama dirghaha, and then after that we get Buddhirechi Mahoshadhi. Okay, so that was the translation. I think we already did translation last time. If you want, I can put it up again. So here we have this one here. So making his search at Lanka, Vichinvata. So by him who was searching. At Lanka is Lankayam. The capital of Ravana is from the commentary. Ravana Rajadhanyam. He is Tena. This is actually in the shloka it's passive. In the translation is active, because in English the passive doesn't sound good. So make it active in English. So he is Tena. Found is Drishta. Labdha, Drishta, Prapta is found. Again it's made active in the translation. The daughter of Janaka is Janaki. Surrounded by Rakshasi is Rakshasi Vrata, Samastam Padam, Rakshasi Bhir Vrata. And she appeared, that is the Iva. She appeared like is the Iva. The great medicinal plant is Mahoshadhi. Intertwined is Parita, means intertwined means encircled. by poisonous creepers is Vishavallibhi. Okay, let us look at the next shloka. Dvishashtitama shloka is 62nd shloka. Tasyai bhartarabhijnanam anguliyam dadau kapihi pratyudgatam ivanushnais tadanandashru bindubhihi. Pratyudgatam ivanushnais tadanandashru bindubhihi. Tasyai bhartarabhijnanam anguliyam dadau kapihi pratyudgatam ivanushnais tadanandashru bindubhihi. Pradacheda is tasyai, chaturthi ekvachanam, sitayai tasyai, unto her, bhartuhu. Bhartu is shashti ekvachanam of bhartar pradpadikam. Like kartru, if you take, the shashti ekvachanam is kartuhu. So this is shashti. One thing you should know, you should really try to practice is get the vibhaktis properly understood. That's very fundamental that you know. That's the difficult thing about the language in the beginning, is in English you say of her husband. But if you don't have the of in Sanskritam, we have the of, the prepositions are included in the vibhakti endings. So we say bhartuhu, it means shashti. Bhartu means of her husband. So patyuhu. So shashti ekvachanam. Abhijnanam, that is dvitiya ekvachanam. Anguliyam. Anguliyam. That's both, that's samadhikaranam. So one thing you can do analyzing a shloka is those which are samadhikaranam, you can underline them in the like you can look like you use like a color pencil or something, and those which are samadhikaranam you can put them in the same color. So abhijnanam and anguliyam are both dvitiya ekvachanam. And then dadau we have just seen in our daily examples. Dadau is lit lakaraha. Pratham purusha ekvachanam dhatu dudai dane means to give. So we have just learned the sutram artha au nalaha. We just learned that, and we will derive this in a second. So that's a tingantam padam. Kapihi, of course, is prathama ekvachanam, like harihi. Kapihi, Hanuman. Pratyudgatam. Pratyudgatam is there's an iva coming there. So as we have discussed in the class many times, when you have an upama and upameya, you want to match the vibhaktis endings. So in the upameya you have abhijnanam anguliyam, dvitiya ekvachanam. So similarly here in the upama you will have also pratyudgatam. You're also going to be a dvitiya ekvachanam. Suppose an adjective pratyudgatam. It's like it means like it was welcomed. Pratyudgatam. Pratyudgatam means pratyudgamanam means when you go out to greet like it was greeted. Pratyudgam. Pratyudgam means when you go to greet somebody. That's called pratyudgamanam. So when you go to welcome somebody or greet somebody, pratyudgamanam. So pratyudgatam, as it was greeted. It was greeted. Iva, of course, is the avyam. That's the upama dyotakam padam, which says upama is there. Anushnaihi. So between iva and anushnaihi, of course, akasama dirgha is taking place. Anushnaihi is titya bahuvachanam, is qualifying bindubhihi. So titya ekvachanam, because pratyudgatam is a passive construct, which is greeted by. It was as if greeted by is tadanandashru bindubhi, samastam padam. Tada means tasyaha sitayaha anandashru bindubhi. So it's like these was like these tears, like drops of tears. Ashru bindu. Ashru bindu is a drop. So teardrops of joy. So simple sentence is kapihi dadau. Hanuman gave. And then he gave to whom? Or what did he give? Anguliyakam, which he gave her a ring, which was the abhijnanam, which is the token of recognition, by which she could recognize that he had come from Sri Rama. So we'll look at the grammar in detail, but abhijñāyate anenati abhijñānam, that by which you recognize is abhijñānam. So simple sentence is kapihi Hanuman Abhijnanam anguliyam dadau. So he gave a ring, which is a token of recognition. Who did he give it to? Tasyai Sita Yai. He gave it to Sita. Simple sentence. Now this is Upama down here and says that it was as if it was welcomed. It was as if welcomed. As if it was something which it was as if welcomed by her teardrops of joy, which were not warm. So by her cool teardrops of joy, tears of joy which were not warm. So that thing which he gave, it was as if welcomed, it was as if greeted. It was as if greeted by her tears of joy, which were not warm. So that is the meaning of the shloka. Let's look at the Vyakhyanam. So Kapihi Hanuman. Because he always clarifies who is this qualifies. So Kapir Hanuman. Look at the sandhi here. Bhartuhu Ramasya is a sandhi going on, because Bhartuhu plus Ramasya, first you get Sasajishoruhu, Anubandha Lopaha. So sandhi rules we should be very, very comfortable with sandhi rules and the Subandha Prakaranam. So that's going to be fundamental. So the sandhi in the commentary is Bhartuhu Ramasya. So we get first of all Sasajishoruhu, then Upadesha Jananasikait, then by Rori, Repasya Lopaha Repe, and then finally Dhalope Purvasya Dirgho Naha. So I have not put all the steps in the document, but this sandhi, if you want to practice, what is happening is, because it's Bhartuhu, actually I take it back, I'm sorry. It's really Bhartur already, because Bhartuhu is not ending in a Sakaraha. Bhartur is ending in a Repaha. Bhartur. So you already have a Repaha. So you only have to do Rori, followed by, that's 8-3-14, followed by 6-3-1-1-1, Dhalope Purvasya Dirgho Naha. So if you want to practice this sandhi, look at 8-3-14, followed by 6-3-1-1-1. In fact, while we're doing this, we can finish off in the document right now this form Bhartuhu. So Bhartru plus Nyas Shashti Ekvachanam by 4-1-2, which is Sovjas, etc. Then Anubandha Lopeyas by Lashakvatadite, and now na vibhaktau tusmaha sakala sinsanyana bhavati. And then what happens is that because it is bharat s, so we get the rita ut. Look at the number 61111. I think this is the last sutram in the adhikara of ekah puraparayoho. The adhikara which starts from, I think, 6184 it is ekah puraparayoho, that goes up to this sutram, which is the rita ut. So if you add anuvritya of nyasi nesoscha, so if you have the akara of nyasi or nyas, which is preceded by a rikaraha, then puraparayoha eka adesha. In the place of two of them, there is the adesha of ukaraha, rita ut. So one more time, if you have a rikaraha, which is followed by the akara of nyasi or nyas, then puraparayoho eka adesha is ukaraha, urandraparaha. So we get bhartur sa. And then after that, we get the, this gets the padasanya by suptingantam padam, and then we get sanyogantasya lopaha, ratsasya. Sanyogantasya lopa says that if you have a sanyogantam padam, the palontyasya, the ending letter takes lopaha, but this ratsasya confirms that following a repa, only sakara can take lopa. So ratsasya 8-24 is a niyama sutram. It's a niyama sutram for 8-23. But in this particular case, it cannot stop sanyogantasya lopaha. The ratsasya is confirming that following a repa, only sakara can take lopaha. So sanyogantasya lopaha is confirmed by ratsasya, is allowed by ratsasya. It's not stopped by ratsasya. So we get bhartur. So it's already repantam. Then all I have to do, so when you say bhartur plus in the commentary, we have bhartur, bhartur plus ramasya, we just do 8-3-14, which is Rori, followed by 63111 Dhralope Purus Dirgona. So Bharatuhu. So he is again clarifying who is Bharatuhu? Ramasya. One more thing over here. One more thing I just told in the prior shloka. If you're having difficulty figuring out vibhakti of a word, look around in the shloka first. Anything Samadhi Karanam, look in the commentary also. So here we have Bharatuhu Ramasya. So the fact that Ramasya is Svashtam, it is Shashti Ekvachanam. Tasmad Bharatuhu iti api Shashti Ekvachanantam iti jnayate. So if you're having a difficulty figuring out what is the vibhakti of Bharatuhu, it is being commented as Ramasya. So most likely Bharatu is also Shashti Ekvachanam. Ramasya. Sambandhi. Sambandhi is connected with Ramaha. So it is a token of recognition means connected with Ramaha. So Ramasya Sambandhi Abhijnanam. So Ramasya Abhijnanam means Ramasya Sambandhi is a token of recognition, recognizing the connection with Ramaha. So Sambandhi Abhijnanam means Pratyabhijnana Sadhakam. Sadhakam means it gives the recognition, it gives the Pratyabhijnanam is recognizing, so recognizing, and Sadhakam which accomplishes that which accomplishes the job of giving the recognition of Pratyabhijnana Sadhakam. Then Anguliyam is Urmikam. Urmikam is a finger ring. He quotes the Amar Kosha, Anguliyakam Urmika iti. Anguliyakam Urmika. So Amar Kosha he quotes. Of course here I think the Pratyakan has been used Swarte probably in the Amar Kosha. So Anguliyam, Anguliyakam, both same thing, which means a ring. Now how is this word Anguliyam formed? He mentioned that in fact this is very nice. Just yesterday we were talking about this in yesterday's class. We were talking about this Adhikaraha of Sheshe. Look at the number 4362. So by Panini's grace, we have a chance to practice the Adhikara of Sheshe. Yesterday we were talking about this, today we can practice that. So Sheshe Adhikaraha starts from 4292 Sheshe. It goes up to, I think the number is 43134. And Sheshe means that it has a twofold purpose. Sheshe means that in any miscellaneous meaning, Pratyaya An can be used. That means it's Adhikara Sutram in that sense. It's a Vidhi Sutram in that sense. As Adhikara, it means that all these Pratyayas which were set as default from 4 to 93, all the way up to 4324, they're all applicable only in the Shesha Adhikaraha. So that is the Shesha Adhikaraha, and there we have a sutra which we saw yesterday, which is Tatra Bhavaha, and under that we have a specific sutram which says that Jivva Mulangulescha. After the word Jivva Mula and Anguli, the Pratyaya Chakam. Sorry, Jivva Mulangule Cha. I'm sorry. One more time. Jivva Mulangule Cha. Jivva Mulangule Cha. Jivva. Any new Pali Sutram, you can enjoy after trying to pronounce it correctly. Some of the sutras are hard to pronounce. Actually, this one is not that hard actually. Jivva Mulangule Cha. Jivva Mulangule Cha. Jivva Mulangule Cha means Pratyaya Cha. It will come after the word Jivva Mula or Anguli. We talked about yesterday in great detail. Is that when you form a Tadhita Prayogaha, you know three things. Kasmin Arthe, then Ka Prakritihi, and Ko Kaha Pratyayaha. So here the Prakriti is Anguli. That's which taking the Pratyayaha is Prakriti. The Pratyaya is Cha, and the meaning is Tatra Bhavaha. Is something which occurs, which is found on the finger. Something which occurs or is found on the finger is Anguliyam. Anguliyam in this case means a ring. So he's giving us a sutram, Jivva Mul. In fact, if you want, we can quickly look at the vritti of that. Jivva Mulangulescha. So Jivva, there is no spashtam. Jivva Mula Shabdat, Anguli Shabdat Cha. I think there's a typo here. Chaha pratyaya bhavati. In fact, now Kalpesh has given me an ability to edit this. So I will edit this now. It will become cha. Cha pratyaya bhavati. So there's a typo there. So in fact, let me confirm that before I edit. So this is what 4362. I think there was a typo over here. So jivamula shabdat anguli shabdat cha pratyaya bhavati. So 4362. Correct. So jivamula shabdat anguli shabdat cha pratyaya bhavati tatra bhavati tasmin vishaye. There was a typo. So now the good thing about this new website is that we can edit these things right here. So put that over here. Now, so if I let's go to document and derive the form in detail, the form is like this. You take the word angulau bhavam anguliyam, which occurs on the finger. It's found on the finger. So which is seen on the finger. So anguli plus pratyagni because tatra bhavan is saptami. So because saptami astral. So be the pratyagni. And then the pratyacha. So jivha mulangulesh cha. So we get that. Now cha takes the iya adesha by 712. Ayaneya ina iya iyaha. Further kacha ram pratyadinam. So respectively you get the ayan, ayaneya, so ayan, eya, ina, iya, iyaha. So ayan, eya, ina, iya, and iya come respectively in place of further kacha gham pratyadinam. So further kacha gham. So chakara takes the iya adesha. Is 712. Ayaneya ina iya yaha further kacha gham pratyadinam. Very nice Pani Sutram for you to practice today. It is the ayaneya ina iya yaha further kacha gham pratyadinam. So you get that ayana, eya, ina, iya, and iya. So the chakara is the fourth chaturtha. So it gets the iya adesha. Iya adesha. Pratyadehe thasya ayan, dasya eya, khasya ina, chasya iya. That's the one. Chasya iya adesha. Chasya iya adesha. So chakara becomes iya and cha becomes iya. So you get the iya adesha. After that, supluk, because angam, this entire thing is a tadita prayogaha. So krit tadita samasascha pradipika sanya supodhatu pradipika yoho. Get the form. Then this one gets the bhasanya by yachibham, which we talked yesterday in great detail, because the pratyay is swadi pratyaya, which is ajadi. Angam gets bhasanya. Then yachibham ikar lopaha becomes anguliya. Now the form dada which we are seeing is, we already did this in the daily examples. Dhatu is judai, dane, lit pratyaha by parokshe lit tippadeshaha, and then because this judai has the chavarga pancham as an it by suritagnataha kartravipraya kriyaphale, it becomes ubhaypadi basically, and this lit pratyaya, this tip now takes the sanya of ardhadhatukam. Sutram litcha. Normally things is sarvatukam, but 34113. But if that thing pratyaya come in place of lit, gets sanya of ardhatukam by litcha sutram. And then we cannot get kartri shap. Kartri shap is only sarvadhatuke. Nothing new. We did this in the Saturday class already. So then the nal adesha comes, parasupadanam nal latus us, etc. And then we get abhyasa karyam diti dhatur anabhyasasya, and also because of the dirvachane chi, we should do the abhyasa karyam first before doing the vridyadesha with dirvachane chi, which we also saw in the Saturday class in great detail. So if before abhyasaha, if you have an ajadi pratyaha, so if his ach is there trying to do abhyasaha, you can also do an ajadeshaha in the angam. Don't do the ajadesha first. Do the abhyasakaryam first. So this sutram is dirvachane. If you want to practice, look up this sutram dirvachane chi. So here it comes, and we do first to the abhyasakaryam, then rasvaha, Then Ata Au Nalaha. If you Adanta Mangam, then we get the Au Adesh in place of Nal. And then Viddirechi Tadau. And then Anushnaha, Na Ushnaha. Anushnaha, very straightforward. Not warm is Anushna. So the Sutram is 226. Sutram is Nyai. We should have done in detail in the Wednesday class. Then what happens is Na Lopo Nayaha and Tasma Nudachi. Tasma Nudachi. So 6373 removes the Nakara of Nai, and then this brings the Nut Agamaha. If you want to practice these, you can go to the Wednesday class recording. So 63 is a very straightforward Sutram. The Nakara of Nai takes Lopaha. And then following that, if you have an Ach, that Ach takes the Nut Agama. So 6373, 6374, you get Anushnaha, Bindavaha, Ashubindavaha. So these are the teardrops which are not warm. It means they were not out of sorrow. It means they were basically teardrops of joy which are not, So Anandasya Ashuni, Ananda Ashuni, tears of joy. Tasyaha or Tasyaha Anandashruni, Tasyaha Sitaya Anandashruni, Shifti Samasa, all Shifti Samasa straightforward. Tadanandashruni, then Tadanandashrunam Bindavaha, again Shifti Samasaha, is that you could have made like this also. You could have made it like here. We should probably do this. Let's do this. Okay, we can do over here. We can do here Ashunam Bindavaha. It's probably better to do that, I think. So let's do that because you know what? It's okay. It doesn't matter either way. You know what? We'll keep it as it is. Doesn't matter. We could have done Ashunam. The order in which you do it is not that important here. I think Anandashu has to be done first. Then we could have done the Anandashu Bindavaha. We could have reversed these two steps. We could do the Anandashu Bindavaha first, then bring Tasya on top of that, either way. Now, Pratyudgata, the form Gata, I didn't put all the steps. Basically, it is same Pratyaya which we saw in the prior Shlokaha. This Nishtha Pratyaya, Kta Pratyaya which we saw over here. So it is the Sutram in Nishtha itself, 3 to 1 or 2. Taktavatu Nishtha. And then same thing, the 7 to 10 stops the Idagamaha, because in the Manteshu there are only 4 dhatus in Makaraha, Yamanama Gama Rama, which is Anudattopadesha. So for these 4 dhatus as a general rule, Idagama is stopped. One more thing, the Pratyaya takes the Idagamaha, not the dhatu. So they stop the Idagama for the Pratyaha. And then what happens is that we get this Sutram for the Makara Lopaha. I put the Sutram over here. 6437, which is Anudattopadesha Vanati Tanotyadinam Nunasika Lopo Jalikiniti. So if you Anudattopadesha Dhatu, which Gam is part of that, then Anudattopadesha Vanati Tanotyadinam Anunasika Lopaha Jalikiniti. Pratyaya following is Kta, so that Anunasika Lo, so the Makara takes Lopaha. 6437, which is Anudattopadesha Vanati Tanotyadina Unanasika Lopo Jalikiniti. You get the form Gata, Pratyud Gata. Then Abhijñāyate Anenati Abhijñānam. That by which you recognize Karane Lyut. We did this Karane Lyut in detail in the Wednesday class already. So Nya Avabodhane. See, all is only copy paste. We've done this, so many things have been done already in other classes now, so I just copy paste from there, which is good. So Nya Avabodhane, Nya is to know, Abhijñā is to recognize. So that by which you recognize Avi plus Nya Pratyaya Lut by Karnadikarana Yoscha. Not by Sutam Lutcha, but Karnadikarana Yoscha. So not 33115, but 33117. Well, Lut means Lashakpatati Halantyam Anubandha Lope You. Then Yuvaranako. Remember Sutram which we just saw right now? The Ayane Yain Iya Pardakachagam Pratyadinam. That comes right after this one. This is Yuvaranako. My teacher told me many times. Whenever I think of 7.1, I think of my teacher because he used to always do it in my head. Is that Pratyadesha, always 7.1. The Pratyaya gets replaced completely by some other term. Most of them come in 7.1 beginning. So it is, and first sutram there is Yuvaranako. So you and Wu. take the adesha of ana and aka, yorana akau. So you becomes ana, and then just to akasami dirgha abhignana. Okay. So let us see what is left here. Now we have okay, anguliyakam urmika, we did that. Jivva mulanguleshcha, we did that. We got the iya adesh in place of cha. This is what I'm saying. If you don't know Pani Vyakaranam at all, you're thinking the pratyaya is cha. Where is the cha now? Where is the cha in the form, in the form anguliyam? It's completely confusing, isn't it? But this is just, the technical terms. But cha gets the iya adesh. If you know the simple things, it won't baffle you so much. Moho na jayate. So because if you don't know Vyakaranam, if you try to read a commentary, you're completely lost sometimes. Because look at the commentary. It's saying Juva Mulang Bulesh Chaha. Now, where is Chaha at all? There's no Cha over here in Anguliyam because the Cha takes the Iya Adesha by 712. So if you know that, then you can immediately understand what he's talking about. The Cha Pratyaya. Then Tasyai Janakye Dadau. Straightforward. Now one thing I didn't put you in the document is that when you give something to someone, that someone is Chaturthi Sampradane. So he says that Karmanayam Abhiprayati. That is Sampradanam. So this is in the Adhikar of Karake, which Panini has in 1.423 onwards. And there here the sutram is Karmanayam Abhiprayati. The Sampradanam. So that Sampradanam is when you give something to someone, that someone gets this sanya, is a Sampradana Karaka. And then by going to 2.3, we get the sutram Chaturthi Sampradane. So as I said to you, any Vibhakti Vidhanam in this language has to be done in 2.3. But 2.3 will use these Karaka Sanya, which is defined in 1.4. Chaturthi Sampradane. Okay, so that's what we have here is Tasyai. So the Sita got the Sampradana Karaka. She Sampradana Karaka, Janakye Dadau. Then Kim Vidham Anguliyam. What kind of Anguliyam was it? Anushnaihi, Sheetalaihi. Not warm is cold, Sheetalaihi by cool. Tasyaha, that's this is the whole compound now. Tasyaha Sitayaha, Anandashu Bindubhi, Pratyudgatam Ivasthitam. As if it had been greeted. So it was greeted by her cool teardrops of joy. Then, what does that mean? That this ring was as if greeted by tears of joy, means that Bhartra Bhijnana Darshanad Ananda Bashpo Jata Ityartha. So he summarizes, so he makes it he takes the poetry out of it, gives a straightforward meaning. So it means that this ring of Sri Rama, which was given by Hanuman to Sita, it was as if welcomed by her teardrops of joy, which were cool tears of joy. What that means is that Ityartha means, basically what it means is that when she got that Abhignanam Anguliyam, there was Jataha means is being born, but they occurred. Bashpaha means tears of joy. So by looking at Bhartra Vijnana Darshanat is Hetav Panchami. So at the sight of, on account of the sight of seeing a token of recognition of her husband, there were tears of joy came out, is what it means. So the poetic way of Kalidasa saying is that as if the Anguliyam was greeted by these tears of joy, means that basically when she got it, she recognized that she's from her husband, so there were tears of joy from her. That's what it means. Okay, let's look at the translation. Let's see if we can connect it quickly. Okay, let me see now. So it says, the monkey is Kapihi, handed over is Dadau. Dadau, he gives a little akaraha. That's a Tingantam Padam, always a Tingantam Padam. To her is Tasyai. A ring is Anguliyam. As a token of recognition, that is the Abhijnanam. So-called recognition is abhijnanam. From her husband is bhartuhu, bhartu sambandhi, connecting to her husband, which was, as it were, is the iva, received, welcomed, greeted, pratyudgatam. So pratyudgam is to greet, to go out and greet somebody. So pratyudgatam, it was greeted, it's a passive form, by her cool tears. So cool is, with cool is this anushnaihi, and her tears of joy, tadananda shubindubhi. It should be teardrops, I guess. So teardrops of joy. So tad is tasyaha, that's her. Cool is anushnaihi, it's outside the compound. Tears is ashrubindu, and then joy is ananda. Anandasya ashrunam bindubhi. So ananda ashrubindubhi. Okay. Let's look at these are nothing very difficult here. This is, not very difficult Vyakaranam. We are doing get some insight, but otherwise the shloka is straightforward. So this, I hope, gives some confidence reading Kalidasa and also reading the commentary. So we are going to every single word, analyzing every single word. Now you may not get every single word. It's okay. You can get the gist of it in the beginning, even if you get 20%, 30%, 40%, in the next round you'll get some more and some more and some more. If you don't get 100%, don't be disappointed. Even if you get 20, 30%, that's good. But then now the next time when you come, you'll get more 10, 5%, 10% like that. So, nirvapya priya sandeshaihi sita makshavadhodhataha sadadaha purim lankam kshana sodhari nigraha. Before we go on, let me read you the comments from Professor Devadhar. Some good comments in the last two verses. Last two verses he says that in the Ramayana Sundara Kandam tells us that Hanuman made a search for Sita in Ravana's palace, but not finding her there, he entered the Ashokavanam where he met her. So that is what he's commenting on this Vichinvata. Vichinvata means he had already searched in the palace and now he went and searched in the Ashokavanam. Avijnanam is a token, a sign of recognition. And he gives the same thing. He gives avijñāyate, anena iti avijnanam. Pratyudgatam, etc. means the poet fancies, utpreksha. He fancies that the tears of joy that rose in her eyes as if welcomed that token ring. So when a guest comes, one rises to receive him. That's pratyudgachati. Okay. So there's some good comments here, so I want to read that to you. Okay, let's go to the next shloka now. So it is nirvapya priya sandeshaihi sita maksha vadhodhataha sadadaha purim lankam kshana sodhari nigraha. One more time. Nirvapya priya sandeshaihi sita maksha vadhodhataha sadadaha purim lankam kshana sodhari nigraha. Padacheda is nirvapya priya sandeshaihi sitam akshavadhodhataha is a samastam padam. Saha, of course in the form saha plus dadaha, is sulopaha, done by 61132, 61132 sulopaha. Etattadoho, sulopo akoranyang samase hali, 61132. These are not put in a document, but if you want to practice your sandhi rules, etattadoho, sulopo koranyang samase hali, sulopo koranyang samase hali. So this we can ignore for time being. Basically, the saha and eshaha, they take the supratyaha takes lopaha when any hull follows. So it becomes, when any hull follows, so it becomes sadada. It doesn't become like namo narayanaya. Doesn't become here sodada, it becomes sadada. Sutra is 61132. So saha dadaha. This is the tingantam padam. Dadaha. I hope by this time with our daily examples you're able to follow some of these quite quickly. I said too many times, these daily examples are the heart of this class, so you should try to follow them because they will give you some practice. because that is how we, otherwise if we just give sutra after sutra, practice, is difficult to follow. So here we have, here we may have a form, right? Like, let's see, upajahara, similar to that, rurodha we had. These are all the daily examples. So like dadaha. I think we had chachala sometime before, didn't we? Let me see. So now, see the daily examples, you also have the calendar on the right-hand side. You have a nice calendar here. So there might be a form. I think we had chachala. We had chachala. Sometime we had, I think. Let's see, chachala, tutosha, umocha, chachara. How about this one? Chachara. So the steps of dadaha, exactly the same like this one, chachara. Also dhatu is daha, basmi karane. But chachara is the same steps. So if you look at, you get the lit pratyaha, alubandha lopaha, tip comes in there, but tip tajji, gets the sanya of ardhatu come by litcha, tip takes naladeshaha, by prasipadanam nalatus, etc. Alubandha lopaha chutu halantyam, abhyasa karyam, niti dhatu ranabhyasasya, dhatu ranabhyasasya, then haladisheshaha, and finally atupadhayaha, chachara. One more time that we do the abhyasa karyam first because of Durvachanechi 1159. So steps are all the same. Put in document here, put that the same steps here for the daha. Says the the daha. Okay, the daha is over here. Dhatu is daha bhasmi karane. Daha bhasmi karane. So same steps, lit, anubandha lopaha, tip, nal, abhyasa karyam, then haladisheshaha, and then atupadhayaha, dadaha. So it's prathama purusha ekavachanam of the dhatu daha, is to burn. The simple sentence here is that Hanuman Lankam Purim dadaha. So saha Hanuman Lankam Purim dadaha. So let's get, always try to get the simple sentence. Shanku Sthapanam. Get the heart of the stake of the sentence. Shanku is the central point. Hridayam, Vakya is Hridayam, Tingantam Padam. So dadaha is Tingantam Padam. So saha Hanuman Lankam Purim dadaha means that he burnt the city of Lanka. And then there is a gerund form here, nirvapya. This whole thing is a clause. First of all, we can take one more thing, akshavadhodhataha, the visheshanam for Hanuman. Uddhataha, han is to kill, but uddhata means to become like haughty, become proud. In this case, not proud, he was like confident. He got his confidence. He was reassured. By what? Akshavadha. Aksha is Ravana Kumara, Ravana Putrasya Vadhena Uddhataha. So he had become confident. Uddhata normally means like somebody who's arrogant or proud. But of course, this Hanuman was not arrogant or proud, means that he was kind of cheered up. He was excited or cheered up because of the fact that he had killed Ravana's son Aksha. Aksha was sent by Hanuman, Preshitaha, Ravanena Preshitaha. So he was sent by Hanuman. Excuse me. Aksha was son of Ravana. He was sent by Ravana to actually kill Hanuman. Instead, Hanuman killed him, and by that he gained confidence. So then he burnt Lanka. So this Akshavadodhataha is qualifying Hanuman. So Hanuman, who had become confident after killing Aksha. And then there's one clause, nirvapya sitam. Nirvapya. This dhatu is va, is to blow. Vati gandha. So vati means to blow, or to flow, or to blow. But nirvapa means to extinguish. Your nirvana you have, right? Nirvana. So nirvapa is to extinguish. I mean, in this case means that to cool down. Extinguish, like to cool down. So nirvapya means having caused Sita to be extinguished, means having caused her to be calm. Having made, so santvayitva means to having consoled her, having put her to rest, basically. Nirvap, you can say, is to put to rest. So nirvap, so means nirvapayati means she puts somebody to rest. So nirvapyam, if you look at the Vyakaranam in a second, is having put Sita to rest by priya sandeshaihi. So Priyasya Ramasya Sandeshaihi, by the messages, by the verbal messages from Sri Ramaha. By that he calmed down Sita, and then he burnt Lanka. He who was confident on account of killing Aksha. And there's a long compound here which says Kshana Sodhari Nigraha. So Arehe Nigraha. Arehe Kartuhu Nigraha. Nigraha means to control. Nigraha means to control. In this case means to kind of imprison. Nigraha. So Nigraha is to control. So Arehe Nigraha means controlling done by the enemy. Sodha means to bear. Comes in Gita. Shaknotyehe vayas sodham. Saha is to bear. Saha marshane is to bear. So Sodha means one who had, this is again qualifying Hanuman. So one who had tolerated, had put up with the controlling by the enemy for a short, momentarily. So this entire compound is qualifying Hanuman. This is how, see, Kalidasa in one single compound, he captures the whole incident. So Meghanadaha, Indrajit, had captured Hanuman with the Brahmastram. Then only for some time, Muhurta Paryantam. After that, Hanuman got out of that, and then he burnt Lanka. So this is what is called, this one single compound says that Hanuman was such that he had Sodha, he had tolerated the controlling by the enemy for a short time. So Kshana Sodha Nigraha. Let's look at the Tika. But we got the basic idea. So basic idea is Saha Hanuman Lankam Purim Dadaha. Then so Kidrisha Hanuman, he was Akshavadodhataha. Uddhataha means he is confident on account of killing Ravana's son. And then Kim Krutva Sita Nirvapya, having consoled Sita, having calmed down Sita, having put her to rest. How do you do that? Priya Sandeshaihi, by the messages from Rama, Sri Rama. And then Hanuman, also what kind of Hanuman? That he was one who had tolerated, put up with momentarily the controlling done by the enemy, or the imprisonment done by the enemy. So let's see what Malinatha says now, how he decides. So what we should do is that we should do our own analysis. Then we can go to the commentary. If you can do some analysis on your own, and then you can go to the commentary and confirm what Malinatha says. It's also a good track you can follow. Try to pick up from the shloka what you can get on your own. And then if you want to just have some fun with it, and then try to go to the commentary and see what he gives. So Nirvapyaiti. So he says Saha Kapihi. From the prior shloka we had Kapihi. So Anuvritya that comes down here, Kapihi. So Saha Kapihi Hanuman. Saha Kapihi. Then Priya Sandeshaihi. Priyasya Ramasya Sandeshaihi Vachikaihi. The Vachikam. Vachikam is verbal message. Verbal message is Vachikam. We'll go into the document for detail. But Vachikam means it's a verbal message. So Sita Nirvapya Sukhayitva. Sukhayitva means having made her happy. Having cheered her up. Having cheered up Sita. Having cheered up. So because Nirvap is means like to extinguish almost. Let's see what Apteji he says for Nirvap. If he has by any chance Nirvap, let's see, he may have it. Because Nirvap normally means to extinguish, to like Nirvana. So Nirvapya would normally means having extinguished or blown out or put to rest. But he says okay, sorry. Nirvap, let's see. No, Nirva, I'm sorry. What is Nir plus Va? Okay, Nirva. The Dhatu is Va. The Puk is the Po is an Agamaha. Puk Agamaha. So Dhatu is Va only. So Nirva is to blow, to be cooled or assured. Yes, he says. So this is it. So Nirvapa is to be cooled or assured. So that is so. To blow is one thing. To blow out, to be extinguished, to become extinct. But Nirvapayati is to blow out, destroy, to alleviate the heat of somebody, act as a refrigerant. So you might have that. Here it is. Nirvapya Priyasandeshaihi Sitam Akshabadodhataha. So yes, okay. So it means to blow, also means to be cooled or to be reassured, to be cheered up. That's for the meaning nirva. So this is why we read this text to get the meaning of this word. But Vyakaranam cannot give you the meaning of nirva. Vyakaranam cannot give you the meaning as such to get the meaning from the language. So nirvapya sukhayatva. So nir plus va also means to be cool or to be reassured. Nirvapya sukhayatva. Now is in the compound akshabadodhataha. Akshasya Ravana Kumarasya. I said to you that normally a Shashti Purusha doesn't demand a commentary, but he wants to comment on who is Aksha. So that's why he gives the Vigraha Vakyam of Akshavadha. Akshavadha should be a Sugamaha Samasaha. But he's giving the Vigraha Vakyam in order to explain who is Aksha. Akshasya Ravana Kumarasya. Vadhena Uddhataha Druptaha san means he was proud. He was proud. Druptaha san means he was confident or proud. So this is so Akshasya Vadha Akshavadha. Shashti Tatpurusha. Then Akshasya Vadhena Uddhataha. Titya Samasaha. Vadhena Uddhataha. When you form a Tatpurusha compound in a big chain of compounds, you can leave out the Pura Padam. Why? Tatpurusha Samas Uttarapada Pradhanaha. Uttarapada Pradhanaha. With the Pradhanyam, Tatpurusha Samas in Uttarapadam. So once you make a compound, the main term is the Uttarapadam. So when a Tatpurusha compound enters into a bigger compound, you don't have to carry the whole baggage with you. Just take the Uttarapadam. That's enough. So when you say Akshasya Vadaha, you already account for Aksha now. Then you can just say Vadhena Uddhataha. Aksha is only tagging on to Vadha. Akshasya Vadha. Once Akshasya Vadha, Aksha is accounted for, now you can leave out Aksha for the time being and say Vadhena Uddhataha. And finally make it Aksha Vadhena Uddhataha. Tatpurusha compounds, you can collapse them. You can basically collapse Tatpurusha compound into the Uttarapadam. So I'm trying to say, if you want to keep it simple, not keep on dragging the baggage, you can just collapse it into Uttarapadam. So Akshasya Ravana Kumarasya Vadhena Uddhataha. Shashti Tatpurusha followed by Tatya Tatpurusha means Uddhataha means Druptaha. He was proud of that. Then Kshanam, now comes the whole compound. Kshana Sodhari Nigraha. So Kshanam Sodha. Kshanam Sodha is Ditya compound. So which was momentarily tolerated for a moment, put up with or borne for a moment. So something which was tolerated, put up with for a moment, for a second. Then arehe indrajitaha kartuhu digraha badhaha brahmastra bandhana rupaha. So and finally yena saha. Now look at yena saha. You should know you're in a Bahuvri compound. In the Bahuvri compound, because the Bahuvri compound, the Vigraha Vakya as a general rule will have the Yat Padam. I'm talking about the Bahuvri compound done by 2224, which is Anekamanya Padarthe. Anekamanya Padarthe. So that will have the general rule. It will have the Yat Padam. You'll have the Yat Padam in the Vigraha Vakya. So when you see this Yena Saha, that is almost guarantees it's a Bahuvri compound. Bahuvri compound. So first you look Kshanam Sodha. It's a Dvitiya Tatpurusha compound. And I just told you, when you do Tatpurusha compound, you can collapse it into Sodha itself. Then Sodha. Then the same thing, Arehe Nigraha. You can now collapse that in Nigraha. So we can just make it. So if you want to make a simple Bahuvri compound, now you can just say Sodha Nigraha. So Sodha Nigraha Yena Saha. So that's how you collapse the compound. So one more time. What we have here is that we have Kshana Sodhari Nigraha. Kshana Sodhari Nigraha. So Kshana Sodha is a Dvitiya compound, Purusha compound, which was tolerated for a moment. So this Kshana you can forget about it now. We don't need it anymore. Because you already made Tatpurusha compound with that, you can collapse it into Uttarapadam. So just take Sodha now. Same thing here, Arehe Nigraha. The controlling or the obstacle, it says Badha in the commentary, obstacle brought about by the enemy. So the enemy's obstacle means obstacle of which the enemy was the doer. Once you make arehe nigraha as Shashita Purushaha, you can collapse in nigraha. You can just take nigraha. So now you have sodha nigraha. And that's the Bahuri compound. Is sodha nigraha yena saha. So his Hanuman, who had put up with the nigraha, which is the badha, the obstacle or the taunt, the enemy's taunt, you can say, enemy's binding. So you understand that the kshana sodha make a ditya compound. You can leave kshana out now. Leave it out means you analyze it as a part of a bigger compound. Make it simple. Arehe nigraha, leave ari out of it now. Just make sodha nigraha as a bahuri compound. So now we get the final form, which is, and see how he nicely says arehe. So kasya arehe, who is the enemy? It is Indrajitaha. Indrajit, one who conquers Indra. Indrajitaha. Indrajitaha is also Shashti Ekvachanam. It says arehe Indrajitaha. So who was the enemy? Indrajit. Kartuhu. He was the doer. Now what is he pointing out here? We've seen in this class before a few times. Is Kartikarmano ho kriti. Kartikarmano ho kriti. Kartikarmano ho kriti. So where the Shashti Samasa comes over here now? Because Nigraha in Krit Pratyaya. So Kartikarmano ho kriti makes a Shashti Samasa. Now, this is interesting thing is that Kartikarmano ho. So the Karta also can take Shashti. Karma also can take Shashti. You can say Hanumataha Nigraha. You can also say Indrajitaha Nigraha. So Nigraha of Hanuman, Nigraha done by Indrajit. But they both, each of them can form a Shashti compound. Now you don't know whether Hanuman is the doer or the doer is Indrajit. Because Kartikarmano ho kriti, the Karta and the Karma can both take the Shashti. So that's why he specifies. We've done this in the previous class. If you want to do some homework, look up to 365. That Kartikarmano ho kriti. In fact, we'll do it right now for a second. Kartikarmano ho kriti says that. Let's see if he has this. So Krit Prayoge, Krit Prayogaha, that Nigraha, the Krit Pratyaya is at the end of that. In fact, that also we can look very quickly, is that we have just studied in the Wednesday class, the Pratyaya Ghain comes over there as default, but then we get the Apavadaha of Erach and Rudo Rap. We're talking about how the word Nigraha has come. It's important to know that Nigraha is in the Krit Pratyaya, then we can use 2365. So it says Rudo Rap. Now see this 358, Graha, Vru, Dru, Nishchi, Gamascha. So these dhatus take the Pratyaya up. So this comes, so Graha, Nigraha will come from here. So because we have Adhikar of Krit, the thing, from 3193 onwards, so this is Krit Pratyaya. So then what the Sutram says is that Krit Prayoge, Kartari Karmani cha, Shashti Bhaktir Bhavati. So now we don't know whether when you say Ari Nigraha, we don't know if the Ari, is it the binding of the enemy? Is the enemy being bound? Or is the enemy the binder who's binding? So he specifies that Indrajitaha Kartuhu Nigraha Badhaha. And what kind of Badha? Brahmastra Bandhana Rupaha. In the form of binding by the Brahmastram. So Brahmastra Rupa Bandhana Rupaha. Then finally Yena Saha Tathoktaha. Tathoktam is an adjective. So he was Hanuman who was such and such. Who was such and such. Means that he was one who had put up with the binding done by the enemy momentarily. For a moment he had put up with it. Son. So being such and such, Lankam Purim Dadaha Bhasmi Chakara. Bhasmi Chakara means reduced it to ashes. Reduced Lanka to ashes. Bhasmi Chakara. Again, this should be nothing surprising. We've seen this for many times before. The Pratyaya Chvihi. So Krubhasti Yoge. Sampadhyakatri. So Abhutatad Bhave. Kubhasti Yoge Sampadhyakatri Chvihi. Okay, let's look at some Vyakaranam before we go to translation. And here is that, so we did the form Dadaha already, we did Dadaha Litlakaraha, Prathapurusha Ekvachanam, we talked about that, just like we had Chachara in the daily examples. And Kshanam Sodhaha, Kshana Sodhaha, the Sutram also we have seen in the Wednesday class, Atyanta Sanyogecha, Atyanta Sanyoge, remove this term Atyanta Sanyoge. Atyanta Sanyoge means when do an action for a continuous period of time called Atyanta Sanyogaha. Atyanta Sanyogaha is Panini's way of saying that an action is being done for a continuous period of time, like Masam Madhite, studies for 1 month, means without a break. So that is Atyanta Sanyogaha. The two rules that Panini uses the word Atyanta Sanyogaha is 2, 3, 5. Kaladvano Atyanta Sanyoge. Kaladvanoho Atyanta Sanyoge 2, 3, 5 means that Dvitiya can be used, because now 2, 3, 5 when we use, because when you say Masam Madhite, so we can say Masam Vyakaranam Madhite, studies Vyakaranam for a month. So now the object of Madhite is Vyakaranam, not Masam. But so Masam could not get Dvitiya Vibhakti by the Sutram Kramani Dvitiya. So Kramani Dvitiya cannot be Dvitiya Vibhakti to Vyakaranam. So we have to use Kaladvanor Atyanta Sanyoge. If something is done for a continuous period of time or distance, then Dvitiya Vibhakti will be used with that unit of time or distance. But this is only the Vibhakti Vidhayaka Sutram. Then for the compounding, we go to the, as we mentioned many times, if you have to do any Vibhakti Vidhanam, you have to find a Sutram in the Ashtadhyayi in 2.3. And to make any Samasaha, you have to find a Sutram in the Ashtadhyayi from 2.1 or 2.2. From 2.1 or 2.2. So within that, the Tatpurusha Adhikara goes from 2.1.2.2 up to 2.2.2.2, from 2.1.2.2 up to 2.2.2.2. And so there, Panini's Sutra says, Atyanta Sanyoge cha. So if a Kalavachi Shabdaha is used in the sense of Atyanta Sanyoge, then we can form a Dvitiya Tatpurusha with that. If you want to practice this, you can look at the Wednesday class notes, 2.129. So this is Dvitiya Samasaha by Kshanam Sodha. Like Muhurta Sukham, Muhurtam Sukham, Muhurta Sukham. It is joy for one Muhurtam, is Muhurta Sukham, Muhurtam Sukham. Now Sodha. Sodha comes in Gita in the form Sodhum, slightly different form. Sodham is tolerated, which was tolerated. Now, so, it says Dhatu is Shaha Marshane, means to Marsha means to put up with, to tolerate. So Saha plus the Pratyakta, Dhatu Adesha Saha, the Dhatu Adi Shakara becomes Sakara, but Dhatu Adesha Saha. Of course, Upadeshe Jananasika It, so becomes Itsanya. Then Sutram Nishtha again, but it comes in the Bhute Adhikaraha. Nishtha Pratyaka can be used in the sense of Bhute, and by the Sutram 3.4.70, it is also in the passive Tayoreva Krityakta Kanarthaha, and by 1.126 gives the Sanya Sutram Taktavatu Nishtha. Out of the two, the Nishtha, I should make it clear that Kta and Ktavatu are both Nishtha. Out of those two, the Kta Pratyaya is Bhavakarmanoho by 3.4.70. So you should be careful that only the Kta is passive, the Ktavatu will remain active by 3.4.67 Kartari Krutta. Now what happens is that first in Nisheda, how do you stop the Idagamaha now? Is a Sutram also we looked at this class before, is to stop the Idagamaha for the Nishtha Pratyaha. Panini has, 21 rules. Ekavimshatihi Sutrani. Ekavimshatihi. And that starts from 7 to 15, which is 7 to 14, sorry. Shvidito Nishtayam. Shvidito Nishtayam. Shvidito Nishtayam. Dhatu Shvi and any Dhatu which is Idit. Idit. Long Ikar as an It. Such a Dhatu will not allow a Idagama for the Nishtha Pratyaya. Right now we don't have that. We have Dhatu Shah Marashane. Akara is an It. We cannot use 7 to 14. Shvidito Nishtayam. We have to use 7 to 15. Yes, Vibhasha. Yes, Vibhasha means that a Dhatu which is Vibhasha optionally allows Idagama anywhere. Such a Dhatu will not allow Idagama for Nishtha Pratyaya. It's a very important sutra. Also again remind me of my teacher who used to remind me this all the time. Yes, Vibhasha. Is a Dhatu has Vikalpena It, which allows Idagama. One more reminder as always, the Pratyaya takes the Idagama, not the Dhatu. So Dhatu only allows it or disallows it, or maybe optionally allows it. So if a Dhatu optionally allows a Idagama in some situation, then that Dhatu will not allow an Idagama for the Nishtha Pratyaya. So right now what do we have? Dhatu Shaha Marshane. So now by 7 to 48, this Dhatu Tisha Saha Lubha Rusha Rishaha. This Dhatu Saha among some other Dhatus allows idagama only optionally because the vrutti of va is coming down. When you have a pratyaya which is takaradi pratyaya. So 7 to 48, by 7 to 48, this dhatu will allow idagama only optionally when the pratyaya is takaradi. So takaradav ardhatuke ishu saha labharusha iti etebhyo va idagama bhavati. So the fact that saha allows the idagama only optionally takarada ardhatuke pare means that by yasya vibhasha it will not allow nishtartik idagama. So you follow that? So because by 7 to 48 this dhatu saha allows idagama optionally when the pratyaya following is takaradi sanya ardhatukam. Now because of vikalpa which happened in that situation, this dhatu will not allow idagama for nishtha. So if you want to do some practice, look at Sutram 7 to 15 yasya vibhasha. So along these 21 rules from 7 to 14 to 7 to 34, 21 rules Panini has for the stopping the idagama for the nishtha pratyaya. But the most important one is yasya vibhasha. Okay, so that stops idagama, and then we do sandhi karyam. Of course, hanumanda lopaha lashakvatadhyate, and then we get hodha. Hodha gets the jali padante dhakaradesha. Then jashas tathor dodha. We get the dhakara adesha because we have a jash letter preceding chatutha varna. Jash is preceding jash. So because jash is preceding, we get this takara and thakara. Get the dhakara adesha. These are all sandhi rules. They're covered in daily examples. You want to practice them, you can go to the website. Jashas tathor dodha. We have a jash letter preceding, so thakara will take the takara or thakara. Prathama varna or dvitiya varna. We take dhakara adesha. Chatutha varna adesha comes sad, dha, and of course tunash 2 after that. And then we come back to dhodhe lopaha, vachana samarthyat, because dhodhe lopa 8.3.13 is allowed to cease tunash 2. Otherwise, dhodhe lopa will become useless. So vachana samarthyat. And then we also go back to sutram, which we just saw today. We saw a sutram today, which was 63111. When you're doing this sandhi on the prior page, we're doing the sandhi between these two. Bhartu Ramasya. Today we saw the sutram dhalope purusha dirghonaha. The next sutram is sahivor oda varnasya. So these two special dhatus, saha and vaha, sahivahor, od avarnasya. They take, if the akara is there, which is followed by a dhalopaha or refalopaha, the akara takes the okara adesha. So 63111 is well known to us. Dhalope purusha dirghonaha. The next sutram says sahivahor, dhatu saha and vaha, od okara adesha avarnasya. So the akara of saha or vaha takes the okara adesha, is followed by dhalope, followed by a dhakara or a refa which is taken lopaha. So special sutram 63112. So by that sutram what happens is that we get the okara adesha in place of the akara, because this is the akara of dhatu saha. It's followed by a dhakara which is taken lopaha. So this takes the okara adesha, comes sodha. Okay, so that is uddhataha. Again dhatu han, the same sutram which you had last time for the word gataha. Same sutram, because the yama, nama, gama, rama are the 4 dhatus in the makaranteshu. Anudatta padesha dhatavaha. And nanteshu mana, so hana and manya, these two. So the same sutram does the anunasika lopaha in hata. So we get the form hata. And then we get ud plus hata become uddhata. That's 8462, which is that the 8462 jayoho anyatarasyam. Jayoho, this you learned in the daily exams. If you want to practice this one, go to the website. Jayoho anyatarasyam. If you have a hakaraha preceded by jay letter. Jay means any letter from jabai up to kapai. So chaturtha, ditya, titiya, chaturtha varnaha. Then anyatarasyam, it gets the purva savarna adesha. Purva. So in this case we have ud plus ha. The hakara is a mrudu varnaha mahapranaha. So in this case it takes the savarna adesha or the prior dhakara become uddhata. So hakara takes dhakara adesha. becomes uddhata. So 8462 jayoho nyatarasyam uddhata. This word vachikai, this came in the commentary. Let's look at this one. In the commentary we had this form which says that sandeshaihi vachikaihi. Vachika. This word vachika, interesting word vachika. This word vachika is formed from this sutram, special sutram to get the form vachika. Because Panini is a special sutram just to get the form vachika. Vacho vyaratarthayam. Vyaratarthayam is sandeshtarthayam. Verbal message. Sandeshtarthayam vachi. Vidyamanad vak shabda. So if you have this vak, pratipadikam vacha. Vach means speech. It is used in the sense of sandeshtarthayam vachi. In the sense of a verbal message. Verbal message. Then it takes the swarte thak pratyaya syat. Sandesh vak vachikam syat. Verbal sandesh vak, so it is speech with verbal, which is a message. You get vachikam. So vachikam is a special form, which is formed by Panini with a special sutram. I shouldn't say formed, explained by Panini, which is explained by Panini, where vacho vyahritarthayam. 5435. So sandishtarthayam vachi vidyamanad vak shabdat. So when the pratipadikam vach shabda is in use in the sense of a verbal message. In that it takes the thak pratyaya swarte. So it takes thak. So when the vach means a verbal message, it takes the pratyaya thak. Then what happens is that, let's look at this one. So vach plus thak, 5435. We saw it's sutram tasyekaha. So tha takes the ika adesha, so tha becomes ika. So anubandha lopa, first of all, kakara anubandha lopa halantyam, the tha becomes ika, but tasyekaha, we saw it becomes vachika. Now the thing is that what is Srilinga Pratipadikam? What is feminine? Now how do we get the neuter vachikaihi? Now we should use this pratyaya use swarte. Without changing its meaning, because without which is not like connected with what, it's the which is watch itself, in the sense of this meaning of verbal message. It should maintain the same lingam, isn't it? Samana lingam syat. Katham pullinga shabdo jatah. How do we know that? Then there is this, because it says ativartante swarthikaha kochil lingam iti napusakatvam. Sometimes even a swarthikaha means when you form a tadita program, swart in the same meaning, in its own meaning, not a connected word with its own meaning. You would expect the lingam to be samanam, to be same. But occasionally it is that kvachit lingam ativartante swarthikaha kvachit. So once in a while they may change their gender, so it become napusaka lingam. So vachikaihi is that, it is verbal message. Sandesha vagbhi. Sandesha vagbhi is vachikaihi. Sandesha vagbhi. So sandesha vagbhi. Now nirvapya, we just saw that gati gandhanayoho dhatu va. Pratyaya nich comes here by hitmaticha, which to cause somebody to blow. In this case nirva is to cause somebody to be cooled, to be blown out, extremely put to rest. In this case cooled, reassured. Pukka agamaha by 7336, which has seen the daily example many times. Arti ri knui kshmayatam pungnau 7336. Arti ri knui kshmayatam pungnau. So any adanta dhatu and some others take the pukka agamaha when the nich pratyaya follows. We've seen the daily examples, like a form sthapayati comes in Gita, or some sthapayamechyuta. So pukka agamaha, you get the form vapi, dhatu sanya by sanadyanta dhatavaha. The pratyaya tva as usual by samana kritikya purva kale. When the same doer does two actions, pratyaya tva comes. From his samasa, vikugati pradaya, nir plus vapi. And then what happened because of samasa, the tva pratyaya takes the lyappa adesha. Okay, look at the number 737. Always, all my teacher told me, always. When you have a pratyaya taking a sarva adesha, changing to something else. 7-1, Pani does that. So, saptamasya pratame pade, pura bhage. So, nirvapi plus lyap, anubandha lopa have a leshakvati halantyam. And then finally, the niche takes lopaha by niraniti. Anidada vardhadhatuke pare ne lopasyat. Anidada, this also must have heard from a teacher 1,000 times. Anidada vardhadhatuke pare ne lopasyat. This pratyaya lyap anubandha lope ya cannot take idagama. Remember one thing, idagama always. Pratyaya has to be valadi, val adi. Val excludes the yakara. Was basically hal minus yakara is val. So this pratyaya ya cannot take idagama. So for niche pratyaya, which is the ikara here, is followed by a pratyaya, which is sanya of ardhadhatukam, does not have idagama. The niche takes lopaha. So niraniti. We learned some daily examples also. Anidada ardhadhatuke parene lopasya nirvapya. So nirvapya is a puk agama in there. Niche is there. So having caused somebody to be blown out or cool down. So basically, so okay, let's see. We got everything. Just in this shloka, the special word in the commentary I thought was this one. Vacho vyarita arthayam. That's the special sutram. See, when a sutram has a very small domain, it becomes difficult to remember that. So those we have to focus on those. The bhasmi chakara, this also we've seen many times. Bhasmi sutram is this pratyachvihi abhuta tadbhave krubvasti yoga sampadya kartarichvihi. So abhuta tadbhave, which is something which was not before. So something is transforming to a new state. Sampadya kartari, something transforms into a new state. And so in that meaning, pratyachvi can be used after the transformed state. So vikaratmatam prapnuvatyam prakrutau vartamanat vikara shabdat. So when somebody is when something is transforming to a new vikara avastha, transformed new state, something which was not bhasma became bhasma. So Lanka was not bhasma before. She became bhasma. So one who effected, so bhasmi chakara means he transformed Lanka, which is not bhasma, into bhasma. That's what it means, bhasmi chakara. So that bhasma is a pratyachvi, vikara avastha, vikara. So vikara shabda. So bhasma is the second state, vikara. That takes the swarthe chvirva. We see, and it has to be in connection with kru, bhu, or us. It's a condition. It cannot be otherwise. We've seen this many times in the Wednesday class, Thursday class, won't go also. And then we get the sutram asya chvav. Is that if you have akarantam angam, pratyaya chvi takes the ikara adesha, asya chvav. Avarnantam angam, excuse me. Avarnantam angam, it can be akara or akaraha. Avarnasya it syat chvav. So then what we had is that, this is all a copy paste. I just copied this from Wednesday class. So we abhasma sampadyate tam chakara. So one which bhasmi chakara. So I maybe should say something which is not bhasma. Should probably put tat. I think put tat chakara. I think probably better, because I think bhasma is a neuter word. So abhasma sampadyate tat chakara. So one who transformed bhasma, not bhasma, into bhasma. So bhasma takes a pratyaya chvi by 5,450. Then the chvi. First of all, this is tadita pratyaya. Look at the number 5,450. Adhikara of tadita goes from 4,176 to end of chapter 5. So we get the samudaya as pratipadika sanya vyakritva samasascha. Then takes lopaha. Look back. Supodhatu pratipadika yoho. The entire chi pratyaya takes sarvapahar lopaha. The entire pratyaya goes away because of upadeshajana sikait, then chutu, virapuktasya. The vakara, which apruktaha, takes lopaha, bhasman. Now what happens is that because the pratyaya came and went, so by pratyaya lope pratyaya lakshanam supting antam padam, bhasman gets the padasanya. Then we get navalopaha pratipadhikantasya, we get bhasma. Now that nakara lopaha should be asiddha for 7,432. 7,432 is in a sapada saptadhyay, while the 827 is in Tripadi section. But we have Sutram 822, which also we have seen repeatedly in the daily examples, which says that Nakara Lopaha is Asiddha only in these cases, which is the Sup, Swara, Sanya, and Tuk Vidishukriti. Only so this Nalopaha, Sup, Swara, Sanya, Tuk Vidishukriti is a Niyama Sutram for Purvatra Siddham. So in this case, we are doing the Ikara Adesha. It's not a Sup Vidhi, not a Swara Vidhi, not a Sanya Vidhi, it's not a Tup Vidhi. So even though this 827 did Nakar Lopaha in the Tripadi section, it becomes Siddha in the 7432 because the Niyama Sutram 822. So then we get the Ikara, because for 732 to apply, we need Avarnantam Angam. So Nakara better be seen by 7432, otherwise we will not get the Ikara. So Basmi Chakara finally, and then Basmi gets Gati Sanya by Uryadi Chui Dachascha, and then this is all copy paste from the Wednesday class, and Basmi gets Avya Sanya also by Prag-Rishwaran Nipataha, because his Adhikara of Prag-Rishwaran Nipataha, and Swara Nipatam Avyayam. And then finally when Basmi suits an Avyayam now, so Avyadap Supaha, yes, look, then Te Prag Dhatoho, because before a Dhatu, so Basmi Chakara. This form Chakara is straightforward, also lit Pratapurusha Eka Vachanam, which you are doing in the Delhi examples. So let's look at the time is up, so let's look at the Anuvadaha. Give me about 2-3 minutes to finish up this Anuvadaha. So this one is number 63. So may have to, okay, let's see. Having comforted, basically having cooled down. Nirvapya. With the messages is Sandeshaihi. From her dear husband is Priyasya Sandeshaihi. So we looked at the commentary here. It says that, if you look at the commentary, Priya Sandeshaihi is that Ramasya, Priyasya Ramasya. That's why it says, for the verbal messages of her dear husband. That's what the meaning of the commentary. It says, messages from her dear husband, verbal messages. He is Saha, who was emboldened. Good translation, Uddhataha, become bold. By the destruction is Vadhena Uddhataha, of Aksha. Akshasya Vadhena Uddhataha, Samastam Padam, Aksha Vadodhataha. And then we have on the next page, we see that Aksha is son of Ravana, Ravana Putrasya, from the commentary, Ravana Kumarasya, and who for a moment is the Kshanam. In the Isikon is Samasa now, suffered is Sodhaha, tolerated, put up with. Capture is Nigraha, so Badha, Bandhanam. At the hands of the enemies is Ari. So Arehe Nigraha is capture at the hand of the enemies. Then Kshanam Sodha, Kshana Sodha is for a moment suffered. So Kshana Sodha Nigraha is one who had suffered, one who tolerated momentarily. Set the city of Lanka on fire. Set on fire is Dadaha. City is Purim. Lanka is Lanka. Quickly, I know time is up. Give me a couple of minutes. We will just look at the Professor Devdhari says that Nirvapya means is a causal form from Nir plus Va. We just saw that. Having soothed her, having cheered her up. Akshavadodhataha. Uddhataha normally means exulting rather than, it doesn't mean proud, it means exulting over, not proud. When Hanuman started destroying Ashoka Grove, several Rakshasas were dispatched by Ravana to prevent the act. Among these was Aksha, son of Ravana. Then Ksana Kshodha is marked that the narrative is too compressed. He complains, this is too compressed by Kalidasa. The entire incident of Meghana, Indrajit, capturing Hanuman, etc. is all captured in one single compound. So he says it's too compressed, it's too brief. Anyway, Hanuman allowed himself to be seized and disgraced by the Rakshasas. These then set fire to his tail when he assumed a gigantic shape and jumped from house to house, turning the huge tail from side to side and set fire to Lanka. This entire thing, since coming in Sundarakandam chapter 53-54, is compressed by Kalidasa in one compound. So in one compound, Kalidasa took two chapters of Sundarakandam in one compound. Time is up. If you give me 1 minute, we'll read the next shloka, and it's a simple shloka, and we'll give you some homework. Pratyabhijnana ratnancha Ramayadarshayad kriti Hridayam swayamayatam Vedeya iva murtimat. Pratyabhijnana ratnancha Ramayadarshayad kriti Hridayam swayamayatam Vaidya iva murtimat. So Hanuman adarshayat, he showed to Ramaya, the token of recognition, the jewel, which was a token of recognition given by Sita basically. So Kritir Hanuman who was, we'll do it next time in detail, Hanuman who was fulfilled, accomplished, who had done the job. He showed, on coming back, he showed to Ramaya, adarshayat, he showed to Rama. You can derive this form for homework. Dhatu drish, it's a causative form. Lang lakara, pratham purusha ekvachanam. He showed to Rama. So Hanuman who was fulfilled, who had done the job, showed to Rama this jewel, which is basically given by Sita, token of recognition. And Iva, it was as if Vaideya Hridayam Iva Ayatam. It was like Sita's heart had come to Rama itself. Murtimat. It was like Sita's heart had taken a physical form and come to Rama. So Sita Vaideya Hridayam Iva Murtimat. As if it was Sita's heart had come to Rama. Swayam Ayatam. We'll do it next time, 64 shloka. We'll do the Vyakaranam for that. Ramo Rajamanis Sada Vijayate Ramam Ramesham Bhaje Ramena Bhiyata Nishachara Chamu Ramaya Tasmai Namaha Rama Nasti Paranam Parataram Ramasthita Sosmyaham Rame Chittale Sada Bhautame Bhorama Mamadhara Rama Rameti Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Tatthilyam Rama Nama Varanane Shri Rama Nama Varanana